how to quiet the mind, basically, when you are trying to receive information. Um, that's a good question, because the mind, depending on the person too, but usually the mind is pretty active, so might tend to show up or interfere with the process of receiving information. So uh, first you have to notice it. You have to be becoming aware of it. Oh, I'm starting to think, or I'm starting to. There's a part of me that doesn't believe I can do it. It can show up in many forms, or maybe what I'm getting is wrong. I'm doubting. So there's like a thought that's coming to your awareness. So the first step is like to become aware of it, and then there are probably many ways of quieting the mind, but like trying to feel your feet on the ground as a way to ground, like grounding, bringing your energy down first, and as you do that, feeling your body, like maybe feeling your legs, feeling your feet, feeling the chair you're in. And I encourage you to actually do it now as I'm describing. Feel your feet and your legs right now, in this moment. So getting more embodied in the body is a great way to like breaking down the energy from the head, because what happens, our mind tend to be overactive because the energy goes in the head. And so we are trying to bring it down lower, so that the mind gets disengaged a little bit. So through feeling your feet, your legs, contact with the chair, sensing your body, sensing the sensations in your body. And as I said, I encourage you to do it right now. And as you do that, you notice that maybe something is like quieting down in you, like the mind is starting to become more at rest. And as you do that, you may also notice that your breathing is slowing down. And if it doesn't happen naturally, you can actually slow down your breath on purpose. So like taking deep breaths and slowing down, like counting maybe, to 4 or 5, like taking a deep in breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm speaking faster because I have to breathe first, and then holding the breath a little bit, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathing out. So slowing down your breath in one way or the other. You can count, or you can just do it. You don't have to count. Feeling your feet, feeling maybe any signs of tension in your body, and breathing into them, letting go. Really noticing your body, your breath. And as you do that, you should notice already your mind is becoming less active. So it's one way to do it, and I encourage you to do it every time if you're noticing that your mind is getting too activated. And then you can also start noticing first. So as I said, you have to notice your thoughts, but then you can also start noticing, as you become more aware of your thoughts, like the gap. Maybe you can create a gap in between your thoughts with the intention like to rest in this gap, and as you're able to rest in it and notice it, to make it a little bit bigger and longer, so you can slowly, and it's a practice. It might not happen all at once, but it's a practice. It's basically the practice of meditation um, to do that until you have more silence than thoughts. And still breathing. Maybe having even a sense of enjoying this breath, uh, this breath that you're having. Feeling the aliveness in you. And as you do that, and now, it goes beyond quieting the mind, but it also helps quieting the mind is to just center in your heart and see what is present there. Can you sense the softness and maybe the openness of your heart? And as you do all of that, the mind is going to be just quieting itself naturally. Like with practice, you may not even have any thoughts. And there might be, some way along the road. Really depend on the person. And as you learn to inhabit the body more deeply through this process of first grounding and feeling your legs, your body, breathing, feeling your heart, feeling who you are in this moment, and feeling this life within you. Maybe also with it comes a sense of well-being, of the well-beingness of just being who you are in this moment without the mind. Just resting in the present moment. And that ultimately goes beyond just quieting the mind. As you mentioned, this practice, it can bring you to experience your essential nature, so to speak. So I'm just introducing that today, but also um, proposing it as a practice that we can expand upon later, expand upon later, but it's like an essential practice really. And and to come back to quieting the mind, really notice if the mind is starting to interfere, especially in this bringing doubt, or saying things like "I come to that," or "It's never going to work." Really noticing it and letting it go, and going back to this place of faith that you have everything in you that is needed for you to sense and to receive information, and also that it's the beginning, and so it's a practice. So it's not going to come like this just in 1 second. So to be patient.